As Helloween Brawl 2025 continues, a 6-woman tag team match featuring the future endeavors, Dakota Kai, Carmella, and Blair Davenport, facing the 3 dominant ladies of Rage, Les Femmes Fatale, including Women's World Champion Dynamite Jeannie Parker.
This next 6-woman tag team match is set for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing first, the team of Dakota Kai, Blair Davenport, and Carmella, the future endeavors.
It's the first time we're seeing the majority, 3 out of 4 members of the future endeavored together in this 6-woman tag with an unusual 30-minute time limit. So what's the story behind how this one came together, Myron?
That's easy. It has nothing to do with the future endeavor. We haven't seen them together since War Games in September. But Jeannie Parker and company, they wanted this 30-minute time limit. They wanted to prove definitively who is the top dogs as far as, ladies tag trios is concerned.
Their opponents, the RWL Ladies Tag Trio Champions, Jet Williams, Goddess Mimi Emerson, and Women's World Champion, the Queen, Dynamite Jeannie Parker, Les Femmes Fatale.
The Ladies Tag Trio Champions, Les Femmes Fatale, accompanied by double champion Jeannie Parker, the sexy soul sister of the Squared Circle. And man, they said 20 minutes isn't going to be enough. We need 30 minutes to prove our point against the future endeavor. And I guess Jeannie Parker wanted to do it with Jet Williams and Mimi Emerson. It was great that she teamed up with American Powers and Dion the Titaness for War Games in September, but I guess they wanted their own time to shine, so here we go.
I've been amped about this match since I heard it had been signed. You know how much I love watching Jeannie, Jet, and Mimi in action just about any time. But this one, with the future endeavor, definitely got my attention.
They could ask for this match and get it, and why not? They're the 3 top ladies on Rage. They've been unshakable since getting those ladies tag trio titles, but they fell just short of making it a title match. Alright, a 6-woman tag with a 30-minute time limit. At the end of this, we're gonna know who's top dog. Referee rings the bell. Here we go. Jeannie Parker catches a kick to the midsection from Dakota Kai. Dakota catches a kick to the knee. Jeannie Parker with a low DDT right to the head of Dakota Kai. Dakota rounded up. Jeannie misses with the kick, catches the right hand, catches another, catches the kick. Oh, look at this, an elbow to the leg, another kick. Dakota Kai puts on the brakes, spins Jeannie Parker around. Parker goes right back in, whips Dakota Kai to the ropes, makes the duck under. Here comes Dakota Kai. Whoa, nice arm drag from the Women's World Champion. Here's a quick cover. 1, just not even a 1. Wow, all right. Dakota Kai rolls to the outside, goes after Mimi Emerson, slams her to the floor. Jeannie Parker gets a hold of her from behind, has her up in the front cradle, scoop slams her out on the floor. Jeannie Dynamite catches a leg sweep from Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai rounds her up again. Jeannie shoves her away. Jeannie Dynamite rolls her back inside the ring. The Women's World Champion off the top rope, cross body with a cover and a hook of the leg 1. Well, that's why she's Women's World Champion and has been for 7 years. Here's a tag to Carmella. Carmella makes her way into the ring. Jeannie Parker spins her around with a hard right hand and a leg drop right to the throat. Here's another cover. 1, 2. Oh, man. That was a near fall. Jeannie Dynamite, heavy with the pins here. The Women's World Champion goes after Blair Davenport, catches a shot from her. Carmella rounded back up by Jeannie. Jeannie Parker escorting her to the Femme Fatale's corner. Head first into the turnbuckle goes Carmella. Here comes Jet Williams. Jet delivers a shot to the ribs. Carmella slaps her in the chest, tags her with a hard forearm. Out to the floor goes Jet Williams. And Carmella's got bad intentions. Here we go. She's warming it up. She rebounds off the ropes, through the ropes, and oh man, flying shoulder takes Jet Williams back down to the floor again. Referee already counting both ladies. Jet Williams pursuing Carmella, makes her way back inside the ring. Carmella locks her up, whips her to the ropes, Drop toe hold to Jet Williams and takes a little impromptu shiatsu across the back of Jet Williams. A kick to the midsection and a facebuster from Carmella. Jet Williams is laid out, and here comes Dakota Kai again. Jet Williams still motionless near center ring as Dakota Kai makes her way to the top turnbuckle. Look out, here she comes. Double boost right to the midsection. That's a lot of weight to drop. She tries for the double stomp again, doesn't get it. Jet Williams with a wraparound DDT to Dakota Kai. Jet Williams rounds her up. There's an arm breaker. Winds up the arm, parlays it into an arm bar. She's stretching that arm for all she's worth. Back up on her feet first, rolls an elbow across the back of Dakota Kai. Dakota rounded up again by Jet. Jet Williams with a backbreaker to Dakota Kai. Jet makes her way to the top turnbuckle here. And drops the leg right across the throat of Dakota Kai. Jet covers, hooks the leg. 1, 2, another near fall. This is gonna be a long one, folks. I just got a feeling. Jet Williams rounds up Dakota Kai. Winds up the arm. Gets her down on all fours, stomps on the shoulder. Jet Williams beats it out of town, turns it back over to the Women's World Champ, Dynamite Jeannie Parker. Parker shoves Dakota Kai away. A hard right spins her around, gets her from behind, but a quick counter and a shot to the back. And another from Dakota Kai. She goes behind on Jeannie Parker. A butt bump separates them. Up over the shoulders in a fireman's carry. Dakota Kai quickly countered a hard right hand from Jeannie Parker, and a drop kick takes Dakota Kai down to the mat again. Again, Parker going for the pin. 1. Ropes are too close. Dakota Kai instinctively reaching out for that bottom rope. Jeannie Dynamite drags her towards center. Jeannie Parker, here it comes, the big leg drop, but no. Dakota Kai rolling out of the way just in the nick of time. Jeannie misses with the drop kick. Dakota Kai turns it over to Blair Davenport for her first licks in this 6-woman tag. She locks it up with Jeannie Parker. Jeannie whipped to the ropes. A collision with no result. Hard right spins Blair Davenport around. Jeannie Parker tries to get her up there, but there's a stomp to the foot. There's a hard right from Blair Davenport. Davenport sets up Jeannie, and there's a slam. Here's a cover. Whoa, look at this right here. Here's the ref. 1, 2. Another near fall. This time for the future endeavor. Their first, really. Blair Davenport makes it all the way up to the top turnbuckle. Mimi Emerson says, oh, no, you don't. Forget about that idea. Jeannie back on her feet, but still momentarily stunned. Blair Davenport goes behind on her. Whips her to the ropes. Makes the duck under. Makes the leapfrog. Here comes Jeannie Parker. There's another collision with no result. That move did not work out for Blair Davenport. Jeannie slams her face into the canvas. Jeannie Parker tagging in Goddess Mimi Emerson. This is her first licks in the matchup against Blair Davenport. Misses with the running kick. There's another kick, another couple of kicks, and a right and another knee to the head that connects. Mimi Emerson takes herself to the top turnbuckle, but too late. Here comes Carmella. Blair Davenport. A drop kick to Blair Davenport. Dakota Kai tags Mimi. Mimi counters with a kick. There's a running kick that takes both. Oh man, both of them are laid out. Mimi Emerson locked up by Dakota Kai. Snap suplex with a cover. 1. Not even a 1. Mimi Emerson back on her feet. Dakota Kai catches his knee, winds up in her own corner. Counters with an elbow. Makes her way out of the corner. A drop kick takes Mimi Emerson down to the mat. Emerson catches a hard forearm from Dakota Kai. Dakota beats it out of town, turns it over to Carmella on the tag. Mimi Emerson back up on her feet. A kick puts her right back down again. Center ring. Here's another cover and another hook of the leg. 1, 2. Referee Charles Lacera being kept very busy in this matchup. Carmella charges. And whoa, look at this right here. Well executed move. Here's a tag. And here comes Jeannie Parker again. Jeannie Dynamite whips Carmella to the outside. On the wrong side of town, too. Jeannie Parker over the, whoa, ass over tea kettle. A human missile. Taking her opponent down to the floor. The referee continuing to count here. Jeannie Dynamite rounds up. Oh man, right into the barricade. And slam face first into the floor. There's a kick. There's a stomp. Jeannie Parker really starting to unload here. Jeannie Dynamite with shots to the head to Carmella. Carmella rounded back up again. Jeannie Parker tried to slam her into the lip of the apron, but no dice. Parker makes her way back inside the ring. In the meantime, Jet Williams taking care of Carmella. Jeannie Parker goes after Blair Davenport, catches a counter forearm from Davenport. Over the top rope again, another human missile of Blair Davenport from Dynamite Jeannie Parker. Meanwhile, Carmella back in the ring, goes after Jet Williams, slams her on the lip of the apron, goes after Mimi Emerson. Oh man, Emerson counters with a forearm. Jeannie Parker pitches Blair Davenport out of play, man, towards the ramp. Jeannie Dynamite moves in on Carmella. Carmella with a forearm. Jet Williams is down. Carmella unloads with a series of rights to the head of the women's world champion. There's a slap to the face. Jeannie Parker's not going to take too many of those and stay polite. Jeannie Dynamite driven into the barricade. Carmella rounds her up again. There's a right. There's another. There's a third. There's a kick. And whoa. Nice Hurricane Rana. There's a kick to Jet Williams. There's a right hand. Jet Williams slammed to the floor again. And Carmella looking supremely confident with two members of Les Femmes Fatale laid out. Jeannie Parker catches some wrist clutch stomps to the back from Carmella. Mimi Emerson looking on as Carmella makes her way back inside the ring. Mimi counters with a forearm. Carmella goes after her again, gets hung up on the top rope. Blair Davenport goes down again. Jeannie Parker with a little celebratory dance right there. Carmella goes after Jet Williams, hangs her up off the top rope. Jeannie Parker back in the ring, catches a drop kick that doesn't take her down. Jeannie whipped to the ropes. Carmella counters with an elbow. Jeannie with a hard forearm takes Carmella down to the mat. Dynamite Jeannie Parker turns it over to Mimi Emerson. Carmella still in there punching. Catches the kick to the midsection. Misses with the kick. Mimi Emerson starts driving knees into her midsection, and down she goes. Emerson gathers her back up. Slams her face first into the canvas. Here's a cover from Mimi. But Blair Davenport right there to break it up. Mimi goes after Blair, but Blair counters with an elbow. Mimi Emerson turns it back over to Jeannie Parker. Carmella slowly making her way back up to a standing position here. Jeannie Dynamite with a hard right spins her around, goes behind on her. Tries to get her up there, but no good. A counter arm drag from Carmella and a hard right hand takes Parker down to the canvas. Jeannie Dynamite catches a kick to the face from Carmella. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg, but Mimi Emerson right there to break it up before even the count of one. Dakota Kai moves in on Mimi Emerson. Jeannie Parker whipped to the future Endeavor's corner. Blair Davenport brought in on the tag. Jeannie Parker about to catch a double team back body drop. As Blair Davenport takes over for her team, there's a stomp to the chest of Jeannie Parker. Jeannie counters with a kick to the head. Jeannie locks her up. Escorts Blair Davenport to the ropes. Davenport pitched to the outside. Oh man, right on her back. Jeannie Dynamite rebounds off the ropes. Here she comes. Baseball slide, double boots to the chest to Blair Davenport. The referee counting Blair Davenport. Jeannie Parker taking her sweet time about getting back in the ring, and why not? Les Femmes Fatale firmly in control of the future Endeavor at the present time. Blair Davenport delivers a knee to Jeannie Parker. Carmella takes a ride to the outside as Blair Davenport moves back in. Jeannie Parker with a right and a chop sets her up, clubbing blow to the chest for Blair Davenport. Dynamite Jeannie Parker smelling blood in the water here, stalking Blair Davenport. Goes behind on her, drops the leg right across the throat. Here's the cover and the hook of the leg, but too close. Dakota Kai right there to break it up. Goes behind on Jet Williams, catches an elbow. Jeannie Parker catches hold of Dakota Kai, has her up over the shoulder, slams her down. This match has been crazy so far, huh? Bulldog to Blair Davenport. Here comes Jet Williams again on the tag. Les Femmes Fatale, working like a well-oiled machine so far. Blair Davenport counters with a knee to the midsection of Jet. There's a snapmare. There's a kick to the back. Blair Davenport rounds up Jet Williams. Jet being set up for the suplex here. Slam right down to the count. Davenport going for a quick cover. 1, 2. Another near fall in this frantic 6-woman tag team match. One fall with a 30-minute time limit. Jet Williams shoves her away with both boots. Blair Davenport being dragged towards center ring by Jet Williams. Jet with a stomp to the leg. And now into an armbar on Davenport. Jet quickly back up first. Again, Blair Davenport being dragged even further towards center. Jet Williams with another stomp to the leg of Blair Davenport. Davenport rounded up by Jet. There's the arm breaker. And again, Jet Williams parlays that into an armbar on Blair Davenport. Jet Williams rolls her over, goes for the cover and hooks the leg one, but oh man, Dakota Kai super quick to break up that pin. Jet Williams stamps the leg one more time. Here comes Mimi Emerson. Blair Davenport goes out, comes back in on a reset. There's a Lutez press. And look at this. With Blair Davenport slamming the head of Mimi Emerson into the mat. Mimi slow to get back up. Gets a hold of Blair Davenport anyway. Whips her to the ropes. Oh man, what a wicked kick. Here's another cover and another hook of the leg, but again, the future Endeavor breaking up the pin. Carmella goes for a ride to the floor. Mimi Emerson quickly countered by Blair Davenport, a couple of hard lefts. Davenport now stalking Mimi Emerson. Emerson slow to get back up here. Davenport goes behind on a reverse fireman's carry, drives a knee into the head. There's a GTS. Here's another cover and a hook of the leg, but too close to the Femme Fatale corner. Jeannie Parker breaks up the pin pretty quick. Blair Davenport with a knee and a stomp to Mimi Emerson. Davenport beats it out of town. Well, she was going to beat it out of town, but she's changed her mind apparently. Blair Davenport going after all the members of the Femmes Fatale in the corners. Mimi Emerson drives both knees into her back. Mimi rounds her up. There's a sweep of the leg from Blair Davenport. And it looks like this time she has had enough. Here comes Dakota Kai again. Dakota Kai catches a knee to the head from Mimi. Dakota Kai quickly counters. Quickly back up on her feet. Mimi catches the kick to the midsection. Dakota Kai goes behind on her. Escorts her towards the ropes. Dakota Kai playing tug of war with the arm of Mimi Emerson against the ropes. Dakota with a snapmare. Rebounds off the ropes. There's a kick right to the chest. Dakota Kai turns it over to Carmella. Mimi up in the far right corner. As Carmella moves in, there's a chop across the chest. There's a second one. Dakota Kai watching as Carmella puts a boot to the chest of Mimi Emerson. There's a shot to the back. There's a whip to the ropes. Well, look at that. Mimi sidesteps it, but catches it right instead and catches the kick to the midsection. Down she goes. Here's a quick cover and a hook of the leg from Carmella, but again, too close to the Les Femmes Fatale side. And the pin gets broken up by Jet Williams. Carmella beats it out of town, turns it over to Dakota Kai on the tag. Mimi Emerson still in there. Mimi catches the kick to the midsection. Dakota locks her up, whips her to the ropes, ducks under, drives a knee into the, oh man, right into the knee of Mimi Emerson. Dakota Kai whips her to the far right corner. Mimi counters with both boots, gets a hold of Dakota, clothesline, takes her down on the mat. Emerson Rounds her up again. Slams her face first into the canvas with a reverse Russian leg sweep. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1. Oh, almost a 2. Blair Davenport breaking up the pin that time. Mimi Emerson goes back to work on Dakota Kai. Dakota being escorted to Les Femmes Fatale's corner, head first into the turnbuckle she goes. Here's a tag to Jeannie Dynamite. Here comes a double team from Les Femmes. There's a hard shot to the ribs to Dakota Kai. The women's world champion tags her with the right. Tags her with another one that spins her around, goes behind. Tries to get her up for the finisher, but oh man, catches a kick. Oh, low down. Dakota Kai. Not fooling around here. The women's world champion rounded up over the shoulders of Dakota Kai. A knee right to the head. Down goes Jeannie Parker. Dakota covers. 1. But no. Mimi Emerson breaking up the pin. Dakota Kai beats it over to her corner, turns it over to Blair Davenport. Jeannie Parker right back up on her feet again. A hard right spins Blair Davenport around. She's got her up this time. Boom! There we go. Right face first into the canvas. Here's a pin, but not even a 1. With Dakota Kai breaking that one up. Mimi Emerson shows her the door. Jeannie Parker stalking Blair Davenport here. Jeannie drops the leg across the throat. Oh man, Blair Davenport looks like she's out. Jeannie rounds her up. Escorts her to Les Femmes Fatale's corner. Head first into the turnbuckle. Here comes Jet Williams on the tag. Dakota Kai laid out on the wrong side of town. There's a punch right to the ribs from Jet Williams to Blair Davenport. A hard right. Look at this, rolls her up into a leg lock. That's it, she's tapping out. It is all over. Look at this. Les Femmes Fatale picking up the win over the Future Endeavor. Well, how about that?
The time was 19 minutes and 20 seconds. Your winners by tap out, Les Femmes Fatale.
And there it is, Jet Williams scoring a submission win over Blair Davenport for Les Femmes Fatale to pick up this win in this 6-woman tag. We'll be back with more Helloween Brawl right after the break.